We're going to begin with a pinch pot technique. So you're going to get a hunk of clay and you want to roll it into a sphere. And once you do that, you want to take your thumb and poke it into the center of the sphere, not all the way through. And then you're going to pinch and turn, pinch and turn, pinch and turn until you create a small type of bowl. And then from there, you just want to keep pinching until you have a nice even edge around the whole thing. You don't want to pinch too much that it becomes really thin, because then it becomes impossible to work with and it's just going to want to fall open on you. So right about there is a good pinch pot. The next technique is slab building. So a slab is like a flat piece of clay or a pancake. So you're going to get a piece of clay, you want to put it on your board, and I kind of like to smush it down just a little bit with my hand, and then I'm going to get 2 wooden slats, put them on either side, and take a rolling pin, and you're going to roll this piece of clay in between the slats. The slats are there to help you from getting too thin. So once you can roll that piece of clay out and it easily rolls on the wooden slats, then you're good. You might have to turn different directions, because you can see how the clay became elongated to get the right shape of slab that you want. But that's essentially how you're going to roll one out. And this is how you can make a type of container using slabs. So you'll do exactly what I just did. You will roll out a slab. You will use a type of tool to cut a shape out of the slab, and this becomes the base of your container. So I'm just using like a popsicle stick, using the side of it to cut through the clay. I'm smoothing out the edges because I don't want them to get sharp after the clay has been fired. So I'm just taking the time here to smooth it out. And then I'm taking another slab that I have rolled and I'm going to cut a shape out of that slab, and that's going to become the walls of my container. I'm using a fork to score the clay. Score means to scratch. This gives it grooves to help attach the pieces together. Notice how I'm scoring both pieces of clay. I'm putting my hands into the slip, that is the clay glue, and then I am attaching this slab onto the slab base and I'm wrapping it around. You can see mine doesn't totally connect, so I'll just use some more clay and I'll make another slab and I will fill it in. So you can see I'm adjusting my piece of clay on how high it needs to be, kind of doing a visual measurement and then cutting the appropriate shape. Now when you attach a new piece, you do want to score and slip anywhere clay is going to meet. So here I am just rolling out another slab, and this is me just showing you an example of getting a little more clay so I can roll a longer slab, and that way I can cut out the right shape that will fit around the base that I cut out. Next, I'm going to show you how to roll a coil. So I like to get a piece of clay and I like to form it into a type of like potato kind of shape. And then you want to lay it onto your board or mat and you start rolling. So I start with one hand, then I move to 2 hands, and then you start in the center and start moving your way outward along the coil. And you want to make sure it's even all the way across. And this is me spiraling a coil. You can see I'm scoring and slipping and rolling it up. And this could be used for a base of a pot or just for decor on the pot, little details. And then you just smooth out your edges there. And here I rolled another coil and I scored it and I slipped it and I am attaching it onto that spiral coil, and this is how I can begin coil building, layering on top. So once you have built a container using the coil technique, you do want to make sure it's secure. Now see, I can see all the layers of coils. If you don't like that look, you can take a rib and you can scrape up the sides of the piece, and that should help smooth the clay out. It kind of helps it fuse together. If you want to see the coils, then you wouldn't necessarily do this step, but you do want to make sure your coils are attached well. So some people like to use the rib, some people don't, but you can see there how I just smoothed out the side of the pot. You do have to make sure you're holding the inside of the pot as you use that rib. Alright, lastly, here is a little pinch pot that I made, and I'm going to roll some coils to layer on top of this pinch pot. So this is a nice way to get a quick base with the pinch pot. You score all around it, score your coils, slip, and attach. And this is a way to build up from the pinch pot itself, because usually pinch pots are not that big. And this is a way to gain some height by layering the coil building method on top of a pinch pot method. And so after that, you can smooth it all out with your fingers or a rubber rib. So that is a pinch pot and coil building, and then just plain coil building and slab building.